Good day. I've been doing what I said I was going to do at the end of last week, which is giving everything a really good water, apart from the potatoes, which are dying back now. I'm watering the umbellifer, the carrot there, the London Market carrot, because I want that to carry on taking up water, but the rest I'm not. But yeah, and these peas, these Mr. Bethel's purple podded, I'm letting those dry now to save seed. But yeah, I've given everything a really good water. And as I was watering here a moment ago, I noticed, well, first of all, I noticed when I was watering over there that there are some Scarlet Emperor flowers on here. And then when I was watering just now, I noticed that we've also got some white ones. Now you may remember these are the Shaz's Scarlet Emperor runner beans that came out fully black in the seed, not the pod, but in the seed. And I wasn't expecting to get two colours of flowers. I know it can happen, but I wasn't expecting that. And it's not as if there's just a couple, there's quite a few plants which are white flowered. Yeah, interesting. So yeah, I have been watering, and there are certain things now like the tomatoes that I'm going to give a feed to. And what I'll do is I'll dilute some of the worm juice and give each a feed, and then just give it a quick water with tap water again afterwards, so that the feed starts going down into the soil rather than just sitting on top of the soil. And then tomorrow I'm going to be doing weeding, but I'm also going to be doing some tomato cares, so I haven't started any yet. And I think, like over here, oh, can you see here, there's quite a shoot that has come off the plant, or is coming off the plant. I think I'm going to cut that back and try and root this. The smaller ones I won't, but this one I will. And there's a few large ones like that, and I think if I do that, then they can go into this area here, this side of the butternut squash. And those butternut squash, I'm also going to give them a really good feed, because they're not doing a lot. Starting to, this one here is starting to. Let's just go over. This one has settled in, and you can see it's beginning to put on growth. Yeah, in fact all of them are. I just think they need, even though I've tested this soil and it says it's fine, I just think they need that additional boost, because the weather we're getting is still cold at night. So yeah, diluted worm juice and then additional water. Well, it is certainly quite humid now, and still, oh hello Mr. Magpie, still rather bright. I should have my sunglasses on, but I'll just squint for the moment. So I was interested to see those two colours of flower on the beans, Shaz's black Scarlet Emperor runner beans, so it'll be interesting to see how they do. And just a note that whenever you use a fertilizer, like I mean, we use organic fertilizer as well. So we buy an organic tomato fertilizer. I mean, we've had it for a couple of years, and also a general organic fertilizer. But those fertilizers that you buy, just like the ones you make, are concentrated. So make sure you're wearing gloves when you're applying them and filling up your watering cans. But also, when you have watered, gosh, it's getting very sunny. When you have fed everything, go with with your watering can again, or with your hose, your sprayer of your hose, and just wash off any potential feed that may have got onto leaves. It's obviously a bit of a challenge at this time with this time of the year with tomatoes, because they're quite close to the ground. We don't have any blight around here at the moment. Touch lots of wood, and let's hope we don't have any this year. But those fertilizers that we make and the fertilizers that you buy are concentrated, so do be careful of that. Even if you're using your own wee to feed plants, make sure that you do dilute it. So that's it. I've watered everything so that when I fed everything, the feed would go into the soil and not just sit on top of the soil. And then I've watered everything again to make sure that that feed is off any leaves and actually going down into that soil. So I'm happy with what I've done today. That will be my job really for the next, well, couple of months. And it seems to be working out in my job at the moment that Monday morning is the best time for me to do that, because it's not a time that I need to be at my desk, but from about 11:30, 12 o'clock I need to be at my desk. So I have decided that I'm going to do all of my feeding on a Monday morning, and I'm going to stick to that schedule, unless of course I don't. Anyway, the sun's over there. It's very, very bright. I'm going to leave it for this segment of a week at the plot. There you are. And I will see you again very soon. Bye. Gosh, it's so bright. Good day. Yesterday I said I was going to start taking off some of the side shoots of our tomatoes and potting them up as cuttings, and that's exactly what I've done with these 8. I think I'm just going to do 8 for the moment. And what I've done basically is taken the cutting, taken off leaves, and then if there has been a flower like there is there, I've gone in and just cut off the flowering bit, making sure I don't actually cut off the leading growth there. And then I've dipped this in hormone rooting powder, which is there, made a hole, pushed it in, and then just firmed up around it. So that's what I've done with those. I'm happy with those, and I'm not going to do any more. We'll see how many of those actually take, and we'll come back to them in a week or so. I expect them to go quite limp. You can see this is sort of quite limp, but that's fine. You want some leaf, but not too much leaf. And also I've started doing a job outside, which I'm doing completely differently this year. So let's have a quick look at that. I have started staking our tomatoes, and this year I'm doing it like Vivi does. I'm just putting an individual bamboo pole next to each of the tomatoes, and then I'll be tying them in. Usually I do a frame. I'll link back to how I did it last year so that you can see, but this year I sort of don't have the energy to build the frame. and it will be interesting for me to see how this does. I mean, if there's lots of weight, I don't see how it supports the weight, but yeah, that's me. I will find out, won't I? I mean, Vivi always does amazingly well, so, you know, why shouldn't I? But I have to say her tomatoes are looking pretty marvellous anyway, before she even put them in the ground. But ours are really beginning to pick up now, and that watering I gave them yesterday has also helped, and the feed, obviously. And as I've been doing what I've been doing, I don't know if they'll have gone back in, but I've been, oh yeah, they've all gone back in. I've been watched by a number of frogs. Oh yeah, can you see one just here? Little frog there. The reason that's a little bit disturbed is I took a bit more pondweed out to put in the other pond. And in fact, I will be topping up both of those ponds and this one at the side here tomorrow. These are our Guernsey toms, or mainly our Guernsey toms on the outside anyway. The three in the middle down here aren't. And they're beginning to look good, so fingers crossed. And something else that is looking good, not my path. Look at that. Quite extraordinary. No bees on it, which is interesting. But this is the reason that we leave our artichokes to flower. A, they look magnificent, and B, they're great food for bees and other pollinators too. Right, I'm going to leave it there. See you again very soon. Bye. Good day. Bean cane frames against the blue sky has to be one of my favourite images of the whole year at the allotment. Absolutely gorgeous. And I've noticed that one of our Golden Gate, or I think two of our Golden Gate, have got well beyond the top of the bean cane. Oh, I think I've got an ant crawling on my leg, but never mind. So I have been topping up the ponds that we have on site, and as I was doing that, oh, where was it? I noticed the first bean forming of the year. Oh, there, can you see it? No. Oh no, it's just not coming up. It's not focusing. Is that focused? Yeah, there's the first bean of the year forming. That's on our Golden Gate, and our Madeira Maroon. The flowers are coming, but I can't see any beans forming as yet. Gosh, look at the sun through those leaves. Gorgeous. And then as we come over to, oh, nudging you, Shaz's black Scarlet Emperor runner beans, I notice one beginning to form somewhere around here. Oh, I can't see it now, but never mind. There is actually a bean forming on these. And if I spin around, you can see where I've been watering, I think, at the base of plants or in the case of the beetroot, completely over them, because it is very, very hot. One thing I am going to do in the next couple of days, maybe tomorrow, in fact let's get on and do it now. I'm going to cut down that brassica that has gone to seed, a cross between Nero di Toscana and Portuguese cabbage. Let me just get on and do that. I thought I'd just tell you what I'm going to do. We've still got some aphids on here. There's one ladybird there, I'm not sure if you can see that. But what I'm going to do is cut each of these are basically seed heads up here. Each of these seed heads off and then put them into a brown paper bag, mainly so that these seeds, which are drying now, can dry and hopefully burst open, which they quite happily do themselves, and drop seed into the brown paper bag. So as I say, I'm just going to cut these down so that they fit into a brown paper bag. All of those stalks of seeds are in the bag. I obviously made sure that the ladybird that was on there, I placed that ladybird on some nettles. There was some aphids on some nettles, so it's on some nettles now. And I will just leave these in this bag to dry out. I'm going to put it on the bench in the polytunnel. At this time of year, unless we're having really bad winds, I leave the polytunnel door open. I don't shut it in the morning at night. We've got to that sort of state of the year now where there's not a lot in the polytunnel. I'm only growing lettuce and one aubergine in there, plus the tomato cuttings we did. And there's no, I don't really want huge build-up of heat in there. So yeah, best to leave it open. If we do get winds, I will be coming down and shutting the door. There is a flap at the side which is open, but I could open that flap a bit more if I wanted to let heat out. It's a good polytunnel that. It's done us well, considering it was sort of like 100 quid. And what's it in its 5th growing season now, I think? I'll have to check on that. I'll put it down below. But yeah, 4th or 5th growing season. And it's done us well. So that's it for today, actually. I most probably will get on and do a bit of weeding because, yeah, obviously watering. I mean, I've come down, I did that big water on and feed on Monday. I did another water on Wednesday, and it's now Friday, and I'm doing another water. Not a big water, but each of them are getting 2 counts of 5 over a 30-minute period. So each of our tomatoes is getting 2 counts of 5 of our watering can with a 30-minute gap between them. So I start one side of the plot, obviously work my way up, and then start back down and work my way up. And the beetroot, as I say, I mean, I've just gone over. It's very hot. People do say, well, you'll only burn the plants if you water them. That hasn't been my experience. So yeah, I don't worry too much with beetroot and with a few other things about watering them on top. With the tomatoes and with the squash and with the cucumbers and the courgettes, I do make sure I water them right at the base. So yeah, so I've done that. I've topped up the ponds. I've harvested those brassica seeds, and when they have all depodded, when they've all popped out of their pods, or once I have taken them out of the pods, I will do a test sowing to see if they germinate. That's the first thing. And if they do germinate, we'll have those shoots, brassica shoots, in a salad. And then next year, when I do sow them, I will be sowing them knowing that they're viable already. I will be sowing them to see if they come true to the plant that grew this year. Because that's the thing when things cross-pollinate, especially when they naturally cross-pollinate and they're not F1s, they can revert to something else, you know. So they could revert to Nero di Toscana, or they could revert to Portuguese cabbage, or they could come up as that cross that we saw grow this year. So that's about it. Is that for me? Oh, lovely. So my plot neighbours there with a pint in their hand. Well, 2 pints in 2 hands. Or is it a pint in each hand? Anyway, and one is for me. So there we are. So I am going to leave it there. Our plot neighbour, or they're not quite a neighbour, but they're on the site here. We'll have a little chat, and yeah, I'll see you again very soon. We've got a work party tomorrow. So I'll explain more why there's a work party tomorrow. I mean, we do have work parties quite regularly, but I'll explain why we're having a work party tomorrow, either tomorrow or Sunday. See you then. I'm going to, it looks very, very cold, that pint. It looks very cold indeed. Bye. Good day. The day has come to take up the banner. Or maybe I'll leave the banner just here because there's still Skanky Frog down here, so I might leave just behind the lavender to the corner here in, but I'm going to take the rest out. It's been here so long it's actually visible on Google Earth. If you knew our address and you Google Earthed us, there's a white banner and that's our plot. So I'm just going to get on and sort this now. Rolling up the banner, obviously. What I'm hoping is that the banner will have killed quite a lot of the perennial weeds underneath, but of course we do have that dreaded sankfoil down there, which I'm sure is going to come back. But anyway, I'm going to get on and do this. It's a little bit breezy, so I'll do it off camera, and then I'll be back to you. Look at this fine colony of snails. Yeah. I know other people get away with it really well, but I find as soon as I put extensive amounts of cardboard down or any tarp, slugs and snails just proliferate. Hey ho. I'm just going to carry on. That's a revised stage 1 of banner removal done. Well, we've taken up 90% of the banner, so it's completely gone down that side, completely gone from here, you can see down there, and I've left this bit in just as a continuing haven for frogs at the moment. What's also a haven for frogs is under here and in there. So over, oh look, you can see them, look. Can you see them? Hopping, there's one there. So yeah, quite a few frogs. So I think what I'm going to do is clear out this area in maybe, I don't know, the end of next week, week after, and then put cardboard down. So what I'm basically doing, having decided to refurb the frogs' home, which is this area, I'm giving the frogs time to move out to an area that they might prefer, whilst also still giving them plenty of cover and shade and water to continue being here if they want. And then in next week, maybe the week after, I'll start work on tidying these up. I mean, first I've got this bed already here and these 3 beds that things can go into, so I'm in no rush for this, but I would like to get it done before we move, certainly. And in fact, maybe in August, depending upon the weather. It's about 20 degrees at the moment now, and that's enough work for me for today, other than taking these banners back to the communal shed so that they can be reused, and taking this hose to our sharing table, because it's a hose that I don't really need, having found the other 70-meter hose a few weeks ago, and also having been gifted that hose a couple of years ago as well. So yeah, I'm going to do this and then pop in the shed. I did pull up one other bit of decking board, so I put that down to give more shade next to the decking board that I'd left and sort of cut under. And also we had a big piece of wood, and I put that there as well to again give more shade, so that's a sort of happy area for frogs. And as I say, you know, if they wish to move on and find a new home, then they can do. Otherwise, we will obviously be developing that area to make sure that some frogs stay, which is the purpose of putting that upturned compost bin, the pond, in last week. So I've got a terracotta slab. Who said something? I mean, I do know this, but somebody did mention last week about putting something in so that frogs and things could get in and out of the pond. And I have got a couple of terracotta slabs, and I think I'm going to put the terracotta slab in there so that it can get in and out. But really what I'm wanting at the moment is for that water to aerate well. So that's why the pondweed is in there. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I feel it's been I think I've been a bit flighty. I think I've jumped about a bit in this week's a week at the plot in certain segments, particularly yesterday. It was sort of quite hot. Was it even yesterday? Was it? No, it was yesterday, wasn't it? Or was it the day before? I don't know. But anyway, I think I mentioned a few days ago, this is what I mean about being flighty. I've just forgotten. Gosh, that's a really big cobweb up there. Gosh. I need to get Richard down to do some cleaning in the shed, clearly. What was I saying? I've forgotten what I was saying. Oh, yes. The work party. So we had a really good work party yesterday, doing the tidying up the communal shed and also the social area outside the communal shed, because next Saturday we're having a visit by 6 or 8 RHS and plant heritage specialists. So that's going to be absolutely lovely, or I hope it's going to be lovely. We're doing sort of afternoon tea, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's been organised by one of our RHS fruit group members here, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And the lovely Jerry that we've had from the RHS before to show us how to prune fruit trees and fruit bushes, he's going to be down as well, so as part of that. So that's absolutely lovely. So it'd be good to see him again. The last time we saw him, he was showing us winter pruning and came for some wassailing. So that must have been January 2019. I think it was January 2019. Anyway, I am going to go. That pint that I had the other day was absolutely very welcome. It really was. There's somebody else, another plot holder here with some cordial, so I'm going to go and have a cordial now. And I will see you next week for what looks as though it's going to be a week at the plot, and we'll see how things go. See you then. Hope you have a good week. Hope the frogs have a good week as well. Bye.